everyone to lie on your back, including Sophie. She gets to play too, as long as mommy rubs her tummy. And you just settle in, the absence of having to do anything other than quiet down and listen to yourself. Now, there's an interesting article I'm in the process of reading, so I haven't completed it yet. But it shares that this idea to meditate, to still your mind, is the problem. They disagree with it, this article. They said you want to notice those thoughts that are passing through. How long do you dwell on them? Can you let them shift? It's not about stop it. It's about notice it. How much of your energy is it taking? And then you make a choice. It's there. Let it move to the side. You can come back, like I say, move to the bleachers. You can come back to it later. But to find that quiet time. This is also a process that happens when people have difficulty falling asleep. Their brain is too active. They keep looping ideas and thoughts. So you notice it. And then by noticing it, recognizing it, you can shift it. So notice your contact, your breathing, and keep everything where it's easy is what I suggest. Or notice when you take it outside of easy, and maybe that's a familiar and we like it, as long as you are comparing different ways to do what you do, so you have choice. That's what we're after in our learning. Options, choices, variety, and listen to the quality. What is the length of your spine? You can listen from the tailbone, slowly traveling up. Are there areas you miss as you go up? You hiatus over it. It's a little whiteout. Oh, trail back there if there are moments you notice, how did I all of a sudden go from that place to this place? And you just continue traveling up your spine. Where do you make contact with the floor? Where don't you? And then you can listen from the top of the spine, but start where you feel the base or the area of the back of your head rests on the floor. Is that directly behind your nostrils? It's a question. Is it the top of your spine you're listening to, lodged in your skull? And trail down that way. There are going to be peaks and valleys, areas where you lift away from the floor and areas that you rested to the floor. And then think of how your limbs, your arms, your legs, the length of them as they move from the furthest portion. Is it your toes? Is it the heel of the foot? Is it your fingers? Is it the palm of your hand? Up inward towards your torso. And where do you think they could interconnect into your spine? I always like to think of that long string that was attached to our mittens as little ones, toddlers, so that we didn't lose our mittens. And that string went all the way up the arm, across the back of our jacket, down the other arm, so that it could attach to the mitten, so that even if we weren't wearing them, we didn't lose them, but it was interconnected. Can you find that also through your legs, through your pelvis, your sacral bone? And now slowly bring your feet to stand. And did you notice that there was a little bit of rocking and rolling through you as you did that movement? Now, very gently, begin to use your feet gently and create that little moving, depressing into the foot to create a little rolling up through your spine. And then let that settle and then roll a little down your spine. So you start in that gentle, easy way. It's a lovely little, I like to say, massage of your spine. And you can go gentle if you feel, oh, I was doing a lot of work and some of the muscles in between my ribs, they're tired, or in my lower back, they might be tired. So you go gentle and easy to soothe them. And feel the responsiveness from your feet all the way up. Does it reach your head? And then the reverse, down. And as you do this, notice what your eyes are doing. Are they following the movement? And then you bring it to a neutral. And then begin to roll yourself a little from side to side. How do you initiate that movement? So you could depress into one foot while you still keep that knee in the vertical. That would initiate through your pelvis a rolling. Does the rest of you come along? That's one way. Was that your first way? You might tilt your knees, both of them, and begin that way. Or maybe you started in rolling your head. How much have you rolled? Or was there a lagging of portions of you that didn't come along? They got left behind. And just feel again that gentle sensation. This could also be called a little bit of a rocking from side to side. Rolling up and down, rocking a little from side to side. Just notice. And then you quiet that. So the question is, these are very basic movements, yet not basic for people that have not been familiar with how gentle to move their skeleton. And the muscles, well, you had to initiate with muscular work, but it was all congruent and it was easy and it was pleasant. Was the movement symmetrical? Whether you were rolling up and down through your pelvis, your head, all of those spheres, as when you were rocking from side to side. Bring your feet back to stand. And now find for you the easiest way. If I said, please bring one knee over your chest and then the other knee, and maybe think, what is the easiest pathway for your knees to rest over your chest? Are you thinking that the right knee angles a little bit towards the right shoulder, the left knee a little towards the left shoulder? Try that. Bring them as far up, rounding the pelvis, rolling the pelvis up. And then if you want to support the knees, do you want to hold thumb and forefingers together below the kneecap or behind the knee? What is your preference? Just keep the thumb and the forefingers together. There you go. And now slowly, what would be the easiest pathway for you? Is it the rolling up and down, or is it the rocking from side to side? And again, now you're using your torso with your head. And you could do both directions. Which one did you first start with? I know what I've seen. For those that I don't see, could you do both? First, notice, did you start from side to side? Because does it seem easier? And then if you go rolling up and down, you can lift your head in one of those directions. You don't have to, just allow your head to respond. And now if I said, could you connect them as if each one of those movements, it had an upper and a lower and a side to side, as if a circle. Which area are you going to rock or roll to and then describe a circle? Is it going to be a clockwise or a counterclockwise circle? It really doesn't matter. It's that you are noticing and feel, is it your shoulder blades, your spine, your sacrum, your head that you're rolling around, rocking around? That's it. That's it. And then reverse the direction of your circling around, rocking and rolling slowly and easy. Again, it's like you are giving yourself your own little massage. When you've had a busy day, you're tired, oh, it's a little achy. Just be soothing and gentle. Notice what your eyes are doing when you do this. Are they following? Are they leading? And then let that go and pause and rest. Notice your contact. Now, if I said, bring your feet to stand again, go back to drawing your knees over your chest, and you hold your knees however you feel most comfortable. Whether it is below the kneecap, so you're on the front of the shin bone, but higher to the knee, not in the middle or lower to the ankle. Or are you preferring thumb and forefingers together behind the knee, so you're really holding the lower portion of the back of the thigh? Just keep the thumb with the forefingers. I say this only because someone who's had thumb injuries, trying to dangle leads with 2 and 3 labs, protect the thumb. But now I'm going to say, as you're here, please draw one knee towards you as you're taking the other knee away. You're on your back, the knees are over your chest, you're holding them, but you're going to use one knee, one elbow is going to, the hand holding the knee or the back of the thigh is going to draw that knee towards you, the elbow will bend. The other knee at the same time is going to move away from you, and that arm, elbow, could be elongating. And you're just alternating one and the other. As one knee is coming towards you, the other knee is going away. Something is happening in your shoulder girdle. As you draw one knee towards you, the elbow bends. Does that shoulder blade do something different than the other knee, that elbow of that arm holding that knee is moving away? What's the difference in your shoulders, in your collarbones, in your chest, and in your head? Is your head rolling to one side, and is it to the knee that you're bringing towards you, or is it the knee that is going away from you? Notice which one you're focused on as far as where your head is rolling, get clear that, oh, that's the one I'm following. And then back in the middle, you reverse. So if you were letting your head roll to the knee that you were drawing towards you, that's wonderful. But now let your head roll to the knee that is moving away from you. Just feel the difference. Good. And now if I said, you could do either. Roll your head in the direction of the knee that is going away from you, roll your head to the knee that is going towards you. But which one for you would slowly, incrementally, not at once, I mean, many approximations, begin to allow you not only to begin to roll a little to that side, but don't go there right away. Immediately, the minute you feel like, come back to your back. So although you heard the idea of rolling to your side, please give up the ambition to get there right away, but play with to which side is your head rolling, to which knee coming toward you or away, in the direction that you would eventually, incrementally going little bits at a time, manage to roll onto your side. But you reverse it so that each rolling or rocking from side to side, at any moment, you could reverse it back to your back and then continue to the other side. So that you resist, in a sense, your determination to get to your side. Looking at, in a sense, how far can I go, and then reverse it and come back. Oh, when you do that, do you give up taking one knee away and one knee towards? And what brings you back onto your back? What helps this movement become reversible? No matter how far you go, like you're almost to your side, but then you reverse it. You come back to your back without a glitch. What is the knee doing? The one that you're rolling towards the floor, and then the one that is it helping you come back to reverse to your back? What is it you do? They're continually doing equal and opposite things. And when you finally feel, I think I can do this, you either let go and rest, or you lie on your side. When you get to your side, you might have to let go of one knee because you'll roll over the arm. And where would you put that arm if you're going to lie on your side so that you come to rest on your side? If you're resting on your back, that's fine. You just rest there. That's it. And now rest on your side. And whether you're on your right side or your left side, find a respite on your side. Listen to your breathing. Was that a pleasant experience? Was it enjoyable? And now on your side, where would you like your top arm hand to be? Because you're going to stay on your side for a moment. And I'm going to say, very slowly, start to round yourself, which means the back of your spine is going to go back, and your head and your knees come a little closer towards each other in the front of you. And then you open. You open. How far you open? Maybe your eyes, your head rock a little back. Maybe your hips open a little bit. Maybe your feet swing a little back behind you. You just fold. And then you open. It's a type of rolling. You did this on your back in the very beginning. And feel. Each time you fold, you might think of a different vertebra that's where you're initiating the folding, and everything above and everything below that one vertebra, oh, they're allowing you to fold yourself together. And then maybe that same vertebra, you think of moving that forward towards the front of you. The body of the vertebra is coming forward, and you open. You might feel that that side you were lying on, right or left, is like sliding on your mat, your canvas, as if you were in body paint. Let it slide. Or do you feel there's traction? What happens in your belly, your abdominals? In one direction, they'll naturally contract. You don't have to pull it in. You do that, you might do more than is necessary and resist the ability of your back to go back. And then when you're thinking of opening, can your throat open, your sternum, chest plate, solar plexus, upper belly, lower belly, come forward. That would enable your hips, your feet to swing back, the back of your head to hang back a little bit. It's not towards the ceiling, it's just in this direction of forward and back. Good. Now, come into the neutral on this side. If I said slowly, slowly, take your top arm and begin to think, I want my top hand to gently find a way, maybe both your hand and the top knee start to come towards each other. Your head starts to fold. And you draw the knee towards you, towards that top hand, the hand towards the knee, whether you're holding below the knee or holding behind the knee. So you've just drawn this top knee, this top arm, folding yourself, and then slowly start to direct this top arm and this top knee with your head to roll back towards the ceiling. As you do it, your bottom arm and your bottom knee can start to follow. Maybe the bottom knee start to come towards you as the bottom hand is freed and can take a hold of this bottom knee, rolling onto your back. And then how would you go back into the exploration of rolling? One knee coming towards you, one knee going away. Go a little to one side, a little to the other side. Just easy. And if you make it to the side, just don't stay there. Just how would you organize one knee coming towards you, one knee going away to go from that side back to your back? But if you notice, I want to go to the other side and it's not as graceful, you play with it, incremental little amounts. But rolling from one side to the other. And when you get tired and you want to rest, whether on your back or your side, please do. Just a reminder to keep the thumb with the four fingers, whether behind the knee or below the knee. That's it, lazy. Rolling. Notice the pattern that's happening. Which knee do you bring towards you? Which knee do you take away from you? When you're rolling to the side, when you're reversing it to come to your back? Do you do the exact same thing from one side, comparing it to the other side? Or are they slightly different? And then the next time, whether you want to rest on your back or on your side, relinquish the movement, release your legs, your arms, and rest. We look first to find the pattern that awakens in us. And then we look well, how many other variations, ways could I do this? To learn, oh, are there more optimal ways? Well, it depends. Depends what I'm intending to do. Listen to those things you listened to in the beginning, the length of your spine, the connection from the top of your head that sits on top of your spine. And then it's connected via ligaments and tendons through muscles. And listen to that interconnectedness through your arms that go not just to the shoulder joint, but all the way through to your spine, as if it was that string connected through your jacket as a little kid, so you didn't lose your mittens. And what about your legs? Are they interconnected? Can you begin to feel the interconnectedness of you so that they're not extraneous parts? Now, this time, is it possible? Is it possible that you could organize your arms? And in fact, let's do this. Bring your feet to stand. And now bring your arms forward towards the ceiling. And then bend your elbows not out to the side, but bend your elbows to be in the direction of your knees. They're not going to touch, so that your forearm, your hands are dangling near your face. That's it. And now, can you bring your knees over your chest? They're not going to touch your elbows. Your elbows are not going to touch your knees. But can you find a place where in this position you can rest? And now, instead of holding the knee, bring one elbow and knee towards each other as the other elbow and knee move away. It's a variation on what we just did. So you can stay on your back, or you can do a little bit of rolling from side to side, which evolves first. But one elbow and knee are coming towards each other. It means both that knee and elbow are bending more, and the other knee and elbow are moving away. It may not be the knee or the elbow that are opening. It might be the hip and the shoulder joint. Can you distinguish the difference? If you're rolling from side to side, it'll be a little different than if you maintain your back. Just notice what you're doing. That's it. And if you're on your back, it's the idea that that hand of the arm that's going away comes closer to the floor overhead, doesn't have to touch it at all. And that the foot of the knee that is moving away, because the hip is opening, is going more in the direction of the floor. That's it. You're like a bug on their back. There's a little bit of rolling, but it's more reduced from rolling from side to side than it is this little, it's almost side bending is starting to happen, isn't it? And notice, does your head roll to the side that is opening or folding? Good. And then just let everything settle and rest on your back again. We'll come back to this, but just rest. So it's like, look, Ma, no hands. Look, Ma, no feet. And yet, what was supporting you? Your spine, your back. And you rest as often as you need to. That's an intelligent brain. The pauses so that we respond accordingly versus reacting. Now come back into this position. And again, if for anybody who I don't see, or we'll explore this lesson later. This is difficult to not use your hands holding your knees, then you modify and you do that. If you don't have to, what I witnessed, several of you don't, come back into this position so that you are guiding one elbow and one knee towards each other while the other one is going away. And now grow this movement so that you start, instead of that gentle little rocking up and down, staying on your back for the most part, but start to find your way incrementally to begin incrementally to roll a little to one side, back to your back, and the other. But don't get to the side yet. Please do not get to the side yet. As the same way we incrementally saw reversibility, just discern for yourself if your bias is to want to roll to the side folding together or to the side that's opening. You could explore. Try both sides, going to the side that's folding. Listen to your breathing, but reverse it. How do you reverse it? What brings you back onto your back? And then try, what if I rolled to the side that was opening? What is your bias, your preference? You have to notice it. And then you have to go, yeah, it gets confusing when it's not our bias. Just play with it and rest whenever you need. So yeah, you have to slow down, because when it's not your bias, you have to really slow down, because it's not the hard wire. Don't open the knee. Don't open the knee. It's just opening the hip. The knee will stay bent. The foreleg hangs, the foot hangs. They're not staying still in space. As if you were guiding the foot towards the floor. That's it. It's not so simple to move outside of our known. I'm seeing combinations of both knee and elbow going down. Play with this. But notice there's confusion when it's not my bias. I can't just automatically do it. Good. And then just take a pause and rest for a moment. Yeah. There was a book, it's a very thick, heavy book, Slow Thinking, Fast Thinking, by Daniel Kahneman or something like that. And this is what he talks about. And it's a thick read. That's why I haven't completed it yet. He talks about anything that is fast is already wired into us. The pattern is there. It's in our neurons. It's the synaptic bridges were established. We just automatically do it. As if I were to say, what is 1 + 1? It's there. But when all of a sudden it's not wired in, we can't just automatically do it. We have to slow down, find our way. So find your way, come back with your feet first standing, whether you want to bring your knees up first, using your hands to help, and then organize the arms. Go back to this alternating. One elbow and knee come towards each other, the other elbow and knee move away from each other, and begin the journey, your journey of incrementally building so that you could actually slowly come to lie on one side. Don't stay there long. Get yourself back onto your back and then go to the other side. To find your way, is there only one way you can do it? Can you do it another way? One elbow and knee are coming towards each other. One elbow and knee are going away from each other. And find yourself onto your back. When you get to your back, you're in the position. When you get to your side, you might be surprised. Where are my knees? They'll stack. Where are my arms? Oh, maybe they're the same replication of your knees stacked on your side, but then how do you come back to your back? And then you continue the journey to the other side. Maybe you don't get to the side, but can you begin to clarify, oh, I know how to do it that way. Really easy. Either side, not a problem. What about that other pattern? Not so easy. That's it. You just go, and that's the beauty of this reversibility. You're figuring it out in movement and not holding your breath, are you? You're just reversing it. You don't have to make it to your side, do you? Beautiful. That's it. And here's what I'm going to say. The next time you find yourself on a side, stay there for a moment. Don't rush it, just stay there. And now if I said, whether you went to your short side, the folding side, or you went to the opening side, what would you need to do in you? If I said, how would you transition this rolling that you did beautifully from your back to your side? What would have to open and lift so that you could roll onto your belly? Would you have to open your hips? Would you have to lift your head? Would your elbows move onto the floor so that you could hold your head in your hands? How would you get to your belly? Or do you collapse and the face is in the floor and the legs went straight? All right, you're on your belly now. And look, you're not babies. You're not healthy babies. I'm sorry, because a healthy baby gets that head up. If they don't, they suffocate. How would you get back onto your side? What would have to happen in your head, your eyes, in your elbows, in your hips, your knees? What would you do? How would you move yourself from your belly onto your side, get to your side, folded first, hips and knees stacked 90 degrees. Where are your arms? From your side, in the side lying position, how would you transition onto your back? What would happen? Which pattern, in order to get to your back? Is it that the elbow and knee are moving away from each other or coming closer together? What is going to help you go from your side to your back? Good. Reverse it. Go back to this side that you first went to, because was it simpler? Did you fold to get to the side? Did you open to get to the side? And going from the side, how would you get to your belly? And if you went to the folded side, what did you have to do in order to spring open through your torso, in your hips and your shoulders, not the knees and elbows, so that you could come onto your belly? And then you come onto your belly and then reverse it, get back onto your side. What was the pattern? Which folded first? Which elbow and knee folded first? What happened to the other elbow and knee to come back onto your side? And then how would you reverse that onto your back? There you go. Oh, and I'm seeing a different pattern when you reverse from your belly to your side to your back. And you feel you're going on an open side. That's it. That makes it more advantageous when you, that's it, to get onto your belly. But you can do either or. Beautiful. That's it. Beautiful. And then you get to your back and you can rest, or you can keep rolling. See, here's the pattern now where you can keep rolling 360 degrees from your belly to your side, to your back, to the other side, until you run out of room in your room. And then you come and you take a rest. That's it. Beautiful. Excellent. So first you have to begin to wire in the pathway of ease, how you breathe, and to notice when something gets a little not familiar, I'm not sure what I'm doing, Does it show itself in our breathing? Did it halt a little bit muscularly in our eyes? So I'm not asking you to do it faster, but you understand in many training programs, once this pathway of ease is developed, we line them up in rows and we start going faster. But it's like Ziegfeld Follies. You have to follow and listen to the people around you so that you don't have a collision. Well, the only problem here in your room is your room, what you're going to collide into. But we're not going to do that right now. Just hold on a moment. Please. If I said now, come back into this position. Your elbows bent towards your knees over your chest. Unless you are modifying and holding behind the knees or below the knees, find what works for you. But now, if I said, what would be the easier pathway if you went back to this alternating one elbow and knee towards each other, one elbow and knee away from each other, and roll to the side, that when you get to the side, instead of going to your belly, you go up and you're going to come up to sit. Don't straighten the leg. It's never straightening the knee. It's just straightening the hip. You might find you go to which side, and then what do you do so that, how do you come up to sit? In what position would you come up and sit? Yep, there you go. Some are starting to get it. Would you go to which side would you go to? The opening side or the folding side? There you go. And now what would you do? How would you do something with that top leg, that was the long leg, so that you could bring yourself right up to sit? In what position would it be? Use your limbs. That's it. There you go. That's it. That's it. You came up to side sit and you went to the short side, didn't you? Okay, so now do this. Stay seated. Bring your feet to stand. And take a hold of either behind your knees or below your knees, but keep thumb and forefingers together. All right. Now, here, either or, yep. Here, begin to draw your knees a little closer to you and tuck your head. That's it. And then let go. That's it. Beautiful. You might even want to flex your ankles and fold your toes a little bit. Would that help? Try it. Fold the toes, pads of toes towards your ball of your foot. That's it. But while you flex your ankles, not opening the ankles, that's it. Good. Now, if I said, keep your head tucked and start to rock and roll a little back onto your back, but then come back up. You might have to throw your legs open a little bit. That's it. When would you fold your elbows? When would you open your elbows? Oh, it's not so simple. Some are finding it, others not so sure. Or do you want to extend your ankles and point your toes? Those are going to not be so simple. Okay, remember the pattern is this: folding elbows and knees towards each other, or opening elbows and knees away, not the knees, elbows and hips away from each other. Just start rolling on your back, but bring yourself back up. Ooh, I see more effort than is necessary. All right, rest sitting for a moment. You just rest. All right. Now, you are all kids. And at some point, I know, correct me if I'm wrong, did you ever do somersaults? Oh, so I've got no's and I've got yeses. All right, so it's really important whether you're doing a somersault that you tuck your head, right? Head and knees come close together and you keep the head tucked. You don't extend the head forward. Okay, so if I said tucking yourself so that your knees and your head come towards each other, start to roll back towards your back, but then in order to not fully fall back, keep your head tucked. What would you have to do in your hips? What would you have to do in your elbows? You'd have to throw your knees away from you. That's it. Here's where I'm going to say it might be easier to put your hands behind your knees. That's it. And so tuck your head, start to roll back, folding. It wants to do it too. And then the minute you want to come back, throw your feet away from you towards the floor to bring yourself back up. That will open your hips a little bit. Fold to roll back. That's it. And then kick your feet out. That's it. Now start to roll back this way, but keep your head tucked. Keep your head tucked, and then come back up to sitting. That's it. When you come back up to sitting, you can bring your head up. But when you're going to start to roll and fold to go back, you better tuck your head. Fold, roll back, and throw your legs out. You bring yourself right back up. How do you breathe when you do it? Exhale, inhale, and kick up. Good. All right, whether you make it to your back or not, it's not important. You could also roll yourself to your side to come to your back. How would you get onto your back and rest? There you go. Look how elegant that was to get to your back. Let it all go and rest. You're on your back resting. We're discerning and distinguishing subtle differences. Do you prefer going to the folded side? When you're on your back, alternating, one knee and elbow towards, the other one away? Do you prefer the short side or the open side? Both work. One will possibly avail you in a very fast and quick movement, how to go from your back to your side to come up to side sit. And then you roll back to your side to get back to your back. Another one might avail you a little faster, not wrong, to go to the open side and then onto your belly. You can do either or. You notice what your patterns are, your preferences, and you start to discern subtle differences. The patterns we've been playing with are not just alternating which knee and elbow or is coming towards and the other away. We are also playing with both folding together and both opening together. So now come onto your back. Give yourself the space if you need to reorganize in your room. Bring your feet to stand. Bring your knees over your chest. Place your hands behind your knees, thumb and forefingers together. And start to make a lovely little rolling around your spine. You can roll up and down as we first started. You can roll side to side. You can make that circling movement around you like a top, around your torso. Thumbs with forefingers, thumbs with forefingers. That's it. Just enjoy it. And now you feel for yourself. If you're doing this, considering all things considered, loved ones in the room, furniture, bric-a-brac, how would you roll yourself this way? And you could roll from your back and come to your side and come to sit. Through rolling. Don't struggle. Yeah. You could roll forward and back. You could roll as if you wanted to bring your feet over your head. They're not going to go there. And then throw the feet away from you while you're holding behind your knees. That's one way. You could roll from side to side and come up. Here you might want to start to find some momentum. When do you need the momentum? When do you throw that? Then go back, go back. You see, that's wonderful when you feel, oh, that wasn't reversible, but there's also a loved one in the way. Just play. And she's decided, well, mommy, if I can't be there, I'm going to block the screen. That's okay. Just play until you're ready to rest. All different pathways to rock and roll. And then slowly let it all go and rest, because you'll have much more time to keep playing. Listen to your breathing, the length of your spine, the length of your limbs. Could you feel that it was your skeleton that you were rolling through? And when the musculature through your brain understood, what should I do to be efficient? Muscles contract. They contract two different ways. Concentrically, which is making that big muscle, and eccentrically, which is an elongated contraction. You think about walking up a hill. What happens between my hamstrings and my quads? They alternate. What happens when I'm concentrically contracting my bicep muscles? My triceps have to eccentrically contract, elongating. They're alternating with each other. Now slowly, maybe in the theme of the lesson, if you so choose, how would you begin to roll yourself, to roll to one side, into sitting, and to come to stand? Listen to how you roll through your skeleton, and the musculature is accommodating, because the skeleton cannot move without information from our brain to activate the muscles. And then slowly, how would you go from this wonderful rolling to sit, to stand? You fold to open. How do you do it? And then when you come to stand, notice your uprightness, where you stand on your feet, how your skeleton supports you, your joint systems stack, your uprightness. And enjoy the sensation of a lesson for you today, rocking and rolling.